is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Rantin and Review Pro Wrestling, and we're talking about some news items and some rumors in the world of wrestling. We got a big event coming up this weekend as well. We got a couple big events actually coming up this weekend. We're going to run through them very quickly. Before we get to that, I want to remind you guys that this is YouTube. YouTube loves when you click that like button for that algorithm. So if you take your little finger and you tickle the like button and it turns blue or black, then you've done a good job and everybody's happy, and I will share this picture of Alexa Bliss on the screen. So anyway, we have some interesting little tidbits coming out of an interview with Cody Rhodes first to talk about, and he said that he's not so opposed to body shaming in pro wrestling. Of course, he's taking on Gunther this weekend at the Crown Jewel to determine the ultimate Crown Jewel champion between himself and World Heavyweight Champion Gunther, who's undergone a unique body change over the last couple of years, gotten himself very trimmed down and slim. And Cody's explanation is this, quote, "This is a vanity business. If you're trying to be on the come up, you've got to get in the best shape of your career. The guy I'm ready to wrestle at Crown Jewel is named Gunther. He used to be on the independent scene named Walter, and Walter was very, very, I don't want to say overweight, but he was not a muscle you could see on him. Okay. The big, hefty, chop a tree down killer dude. The manifestation of his goal is right there in his physique. You can see he's gotten in the best shape of his career. He looks incredible. He looks the part." Before you get too upset at Cody for saying something like this, because, you know, it is kind of vain, but again, this is, like he said, it's pro wrestling. It's about image, and especially where he is in sports entertainment world, the WWE land. It is all about image. It's always been about image in WWE, and, you know, Cody's always sipped from that Kool-Aid bin, but he's not the only one. Kenny Omega said this a while ago about he got in a bit of hot water 6-7 years ago when he was talking about New Japan guys not caring about their physiques as much, and, you know, because he worked out, Kenny's body's undergone a lot of transformations as he's done that. So there is something to it. I think he admits to it, you know, and he says it might seem toxic and stuff, but, you know, I think you can put it in a different way than what Cody put it here, and the way Kenny put it several years ago about the New Japan guys. But there's truth to it, of course, that people will prefer to look at somebody in good shape than looking at somebody who's a bit slovenly. So, and that's going to make you a star. Cody's undergone a transformation. CM Punk's undergone a transformation. That's probably one of the things that WWE emphasizes, and part of the reason why WWE is what it is, because it does know that the overwhelming majority of the audience that's going to watch this stuff are looking at things on a very surface level and not much deeper than that. We also have Jake the Snake Roberts offering a very interesting opinion on the steel cage match. I wanted to share this because I've always had the same opinion about the steel cage match. And on the latest edition of the Snake Pit, which I guess is his podcast, Jake Roberts talked about the steel cage match and how much he liked it up until the promoters basically screwed it up. He's quoted as saying, "Well, you know, I've always liked the cage match until they effed it up by allowing people to escape from the cage. I mean, when the cage was first introduced to wrestling, it was a situation usually where the babyface couldn't get his hands on the heel keeps running, getting out, you know, taking a disqualification, whatever, to hold on to a title usually, and you want to stop that. So what do? You want to stop all outside interference too. If that's the situation, then the perfect thing would be a cage. It means there must be a winner. That's a fight to the finish. But they screwed it up by allowing yourself to escape the cage." Now, this sounds probably mostly a slight against WWE, who, when I was a kid in the 80s, I always liked the NWA cage matches a lot more than the WWF blue bar cage matches, because the NWA cage matches, it felt like, okay, you're putting Magnum TA and Tully Blanchard in a cage and they're gonna fight, and boy did they. Starrcade 85 again. Any cage match, you want to watch a cage match, you want to watch an I Quit match, watch that one. I mean, but even Ric Flair and Ronnie Garvin, you know, lock them in the cage, let them fight it out, and there will be a winner. Whoever wins is going to be the one who beats the crap out of the other guy. Whereas in the WWF, it was like, okay, if you can get out, you win. And there have been kind of a lot of flimsy finishes over the years to WWE cage matches. They've changed it recently in the last 10 years or so, where it was pinfall or submission, but you can still escape the cage. And, you know, I agree with Jake Roberts on that assessment. Again, I didn't want to say share that because it is a sentiment I definitely agree with. But we've got a big event coming up this weekend, WWE's Crown Jewel show. Again, I will not be watching the show. I am stick to my guns. I haven't watched one of these Saudi shows for a long time because I don't agree with the promotion of a government that I don't agree with. And I'm not going to pay and watch a pay-per-view or premium live event where I'm being fed propaganda to. If that has changed, you guys can let me know in the comment box below. But the last time I watched one, it was full of propaganda, and I was like, nah, I'm not allowing myself to watch brainwashing. That being said, the card is quite substantial because you have the Crown Jewel champions being crowned on the show between the SmackDown and Raw Women's Champion and the SmackDown and Raw Men's Champions. So currently, the card is a pretty good card too. Seth Rollins will be taking on Bronson Reed. That should be great. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. That should be great. Storyline driven match. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill will take on Io Sky, Kairi Sane, and Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, and Chelsea Green and Piper Niven in a four-way match for the WWE Women's Tag Titles. Two of the women in this match, I don't even know who they are because I don't watch WWE Weekly TV. So that match, I couldn't even tell you who's probably going to win. I think Jade Cargill, since she's been in, her and Bianca Belair, I've noticed a lot because most of what I see of WWE is through their YouTube channel and the clips they share in there. And I've seen a lot less of those two women, both of whom I would say have probably regressed from where they were 2 years ago. I mean, 2 years ago, Bianca Belair, she was one of the hottest women in WWE, and Jade Cargill was on an undefeated streak in AEW. As a tag team, they won the titles, but then they lost the titles. And again, if you're not watching every hour of every weekly WWE show, you might, like myself, be kind of lost on their star power, and it just looks like their star power is diminished. So I'll wait and see. I can't give any kind of thoughts on that match. We'll wait and see what happens with that, what the results are. LA Knight will take on Andrade and Carmelo Hayes in a triple threat for the U.S. title. The talent in there is amazing, so that should be good. Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso, the original Bloodline, will take on three members of the new Bloodline. Now that could be Solo, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa in a six-man tag match. I would hope that it would be Solo and the Guerrillas of Destiny against Roman and Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso. Now you could also do Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa against Roman Reigns and Jimmy and Jey Uso. That is a dream match, especially from the fact that the Guerrillas of Destiny will be the opposite side of the Usos, which is a match that, anybody who watched wrestling outside of WWE and were familiar with the Guerrillas of Destiny from New Japan, one of the greatest tag teams to come out of New Japan in the last decade, while the Usos were doing their stuff in WWE, that's a dream match. I want to see those two. I would love to see those two tag teams go up against each other in a proper feud, which I think we will probably get at some point in time. The WWE Women's Championship will be on, the WWE Women's Champion and the World Champion, these are so convoluted, Liv Morgan, the World Champion, Nia Jax, the WWE Women's Champion, will take on each other for the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. That one's kind of hard to pick. I'd have to go with Liv Morgan on that one. And for the World Heavyweight Champion, Gunther, he will be taking on WWE Universal Champion, or WWE Champion now, Cody Rhodes, for that Crown Jewel Championship. I feel there's going to be a storyline thing there. I wouldn't be surprised if Cody loses that match. I think Cody's title run is probably coming to an end pretty soon. Maybe, maybe not. Or something's going to happen in here. I think there's a lot more from Gunther winning this championship than for Cody. Cody really doesn't need to win, but Gunther, to keep elevating his main event star status, it'd probably be better off if he won this match. So that's my just very casual WWE fan thoughts on this Crown Jewel show, which again, I'm not going to watch it, but I'm going to be I'll be listening and watching for the results afterward. Not the only show that's taking place. Sunday for us here in the States, Monday for those people in Japan, is New Japan's Power Struggle show, which sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. In this time of the year, back in the mid-2010s, you had two big events like this. It was like it is this year, King of Pro Wrestling and Power Struggle were your fall events for New Japan, your big fall events. They brought it back this year. And this card is also a pretty solidly stacked card. I like the fact, however, they have trimmed this down to 7 matches. So we've got Hiroshi Tanahashi and Boltin Oleg against the House of Torture in the tag team match. The Super Junior Tag Finals is going to be on this show. So the Super Junior Tag League has been going on for the past couple weeks. It's gone by really quickly. I've been trying to catch up with it over the last couple of days. Again, junior tag team wrestling in New Japan is always some really cool stuff. So you're going to see something cool there. The Mighty Don't Kneel, Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols will defend the IWGP Tag Team Championships against the United Empire's Great Okan and Hanare. That should be another great match, although I am scared to see Hanare and Mikey Nichols in the same ring, because every time they go up against each other, somebody winds up getting hurt. Doki defends the Juniors Championship against Master Wato. We have a new Master Wato. I'm going to be curious to see what the new Master Wato is. David Finlay will be taking on Taichi, defending the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. I think Taichi has been underused. He had some momentum last year. He hasn't really capitalized on much of it this year. David Finlay, this Global Championship is really becoming his championship. So he's been, again, the G1's performance, it finally elevated him into upper mid-card status for me. So I'm expecting a lot out of Finlay, and Taichi definitely can give him a great match here. SANADA, after failing to beat Zack Sabre Jr. for the IWGP Championship, will take on Shota Umino, who is vying to get a championship match. So we're going to see what happens at the end of that one. And Zack Sabre Jr., because we are in the age of Sabreism, ZSJ will be defending the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against probably the only legit contender right now for his title, which is Shingo Takagi. That's, again, those two cards, really good cards, really good shows. If you are a pro wrestling fan, you're going to have a really great weekend with two major shows coming from from two of the biggest companies in the world, I should say, in the world of pro wrestling and sports entertainment. But I want to know what you guys think. Let your voice be heard in the comment box below. What are your predictions for Crown Jewel this coming weekend from WWE? What are your predictions for Power Struggle coming from New Japan? And keep in mind, at Power Struggle, Kenny Omega will be making a special guest appearance. First time in a long time he's been back in New Japan, so I'm very excited to see what that's all going to be about. He's called out Gabe Kidd. I don't know if Gabe Kidd's going to be around on the show or not, but he's called out some other people here, so I'm very curious of what New Japan has planned for Kenny Omega, who looks like he's probably going to be coming back to wrestling in the next couple of months. Until then, I will see you guys here for more news, rumors, and commentary on the Rantin' Review Pro Wrestling. Have a good day.